Hey guys, welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading, the second is a discussion of that reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you can join us today on this journey of healing, self-expansion, and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. As a celebration of recently passing episode 500, I've opened up a free membership tier for our Patreon community. And this is so that you can access additional resources as well as join our weekly Zoom support calls for free. I understand that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I know that so many people are really struggling. And so my hope with this is to encourage others to take up the serious work of reparenting and to offer a free community where people can do that. I'd also like to thank everyone who's been along for the journey so far. We've passed episode 550 and continuing beyond. And so this is just a reminder to you all that this is a free podcast, but if you'd like to support the project, you can purchase the Reparenting Daily Journal where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week and also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into 3 phases of the hero's journey, from beginning, middle to end. While you may think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over centuries that we can use in our own reparenting journeys. It's a fun way to reconnect with your inner child. Each volume comprises 10 fairy tales. Each volume also contains an analysis section that helps you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts with space for you to keep your notes. Lastly, you can also support this podcast by taking a paid Patreon subscription, by purchasing some of the books that are available on Amazon, or by donating on Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the Support Us section on the website. Thank you again for your time. And so now with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Today's reading is entitled Radical Freedom by Dave B. at Medium. And just as a reminder, we're in December, and the theme for this month is Reflecting and Setting Intentions. We're in week 3, and the theme for this week is Releasing What No Longer Serves You. It's also the last day of week 3, December 21st. Radical Freedom, letting go of what doesn't serve you, plus a poem, plus a guided meditation. So I will read the introduction as well as the poem, and I encourage you to click on the link in the show notes if you'd like to work through the guided meditation. Sometimes I catch myself holding on to things that no longer add value to my life. Old grudges, outdated beliefs, or even habits that feel comforting but leave me sick. It's easy to think that these things define who we are, but clinging to them often blocks the way forward. I found that creating space for growth means loosening my grip and trusting that life has more to offer when my hands and heart are open. Letting go isn't about denying what we've experienced. In fact, it's the opposite. It begins with acknowledging what's there, naming the hurt, the disappointment, or fear, without judgment. For me, this step often feels like sitting beside an old friend who needs to be heard. It's not about fixing them or pushing them away. It's about saying, I see you, I understand. Only then can I gently release the need to carry them further. There's a quiet power in realizing that freedom isn't something external. It's not about changing the world around us as much as shifting how we relate to it. When I stopped seeing challenges as threats and started viewing them as teachers, everything began to feel lighter. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending that life is easy. It means recognizing that the tighter we cling, the heavier life feels. A practice that helped me is reflecting on impermanence. Nothing stays the same, not my joys, not my fears, not even my sense of self. This truth used to frighten me, but now I find it liberating. When I remember that everything flows, I feel less need to resist change. I start to see life as a river, carrying me towards new experiences I might not have imagined. I also learned that letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making room. When I release anger, I gain peace. When I let go of needing to be right, I gain connection. These shifts remind me that the freedom I seek isn't about control. It's about surrendering to life's rhythm with trust. One of the most beautiful lessons I've discovered is that letting go is an act of kindness, not just towards others, but towards myself. Carrying the weight of what no longer serves me drains my energy and clouds my perspective. By setting it down, I give myself the chance to breathe, to move and grow. Letting go is a process, not a single moment. Some days it feels effortless. Other days it's the hardest thing in the world. But each time I choose to release something, I find myself a little lighter, a little more open, and a little closer to the life that I want to live. What's one thing you're holding on to that, if released, could create space for greater peace and possibility in your life? As we go on to the poem that's included in today's reading, his poem is entitled Whispers of the River. Leaves drift downstream, burdened by the branch I, too, let go. In twilight's hush, the river sings of freedom. I release the past. Moonlight bathes the path where shadows once clung tight, now open to the stars. Each breath a new beginning, each step a gentle surrender. The weight lifts. Embracing change, I find myself anew in the flow of life. Thank you. That's the reading for today. And you can always find the link in the show notes to check out the article and also to read the last section, which is a guided meditation practice. Hey guys, welcome back. This reading reframes freedom not as control but as surrender, loosening our grip on what no longer serves us so life can move forward again. It highlights how we cling to old beliefs, grudges, or habits because they're familiar, even when they keep us stuck. Letting go begins not with rejection but with acknowledgement, seeing our pain, fear, or disappointment without judgment, honoring what it once meant and recognizing that it no longer needs to be carried forward. A key insight is that freedom is an internal shift, not an external change. When challenges are viewed as teachers rather than threats, life feels lighter. The reflection on the impermanence, now how nothing, including identity, remains fixed, becomes a source of liberation rather than fear. Resistance creates heaviness, acceptance allows flow. Life is compared to a river moving us towards experiences we can't always predict, but can learn to trust. Ultimately, learning to let go is framed as an act of self-kindness. Releasing anger creates space for peace. Releasing the need to be right opens the door to connection. The process isn't linear or instant. It's ongoing and sometimes difficult. But each release lightens the load. Though through both reflection and poetry, the reading emphasizes that surrender is not loss. It is an opening into greater presence, peace, and possibility. As we go into the journal prompts today, number one, what belief, habit, or emotional weight are you holding on to out of familiarity rather than alignment? Number two, how does your body or inner state change when you resist an experience versus when you allow it to flow? And lastly, number three, what might become possible in your life if you trusted the process of letting go instead of trying to control the outcome? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself, and please do be well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please go ahead and find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed. where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment. day.